Yamanote. This happened a week ago. I took my daughter on a drive. We went on an ordinary mountain road and stopped at a drive-in along the way to grab some food. Then, I decided to take an unpaved side road to try and spare my daughter. Her protests only made it more interesting to me, so I kept going. Suddenly, the engine stopped. We were deep in the mountains, and there was no cell phone signal, and I had no knowledge of cars. My daughter and I were at a loss. We wondered how long it would take to walk back to the drive-in where we had our meal. So, we ended up spending the night in the car, planning to walk to the drive-in the next morning. As we tried to endure cold inside the car, night fell. It's strange, but there were no sounds at all in the night mountains. Occasionally, the wind would rustle the trees lightly. As time passed, my daughter fell asleep in the passenger seat. Thinking of following suit and closing my eyes, I heard something. Even now, it gives me the creeps. It was a voice or a sound, I can't be sure. It repeatedly said something like, ten, or ken, su, metsu. At first, I tried to convince myself that it was a misunderstanding and kept my eyes closed. But I felt that the sound was getting closer, and I couldn't resist opening my eyes. That's when I saw it, a white, flat something, moving erratically and getting closer to the car. It had a silhouette like Jamila from Ultraman, with no head and one leg visible. It was coming towards us, as if it were hopping while wildly waving its arms, making its entire body blur. I was terrified and almost screamed, but for some reason, at that moment, I was strangely focused on making sure my daughter didn't wake up. I couldn't scream or run away. It kept getting closer to the car, but it seemed to be passing by the side of the car. All the while, that sound, ten, su, metsu, kept playing in the background. The sound gradually faded away, and when I looked back, I couldn't see it anymore, so I turned to my daughter. But it was outside the passenger window, up close. I had thought it had no head, but now, it had a face around its chest area. A terrifying face that I don't want to remember, grinning menacingly. I went beyond fear and felt anger rising as it approached my daughter. I yelled, "You bastard." As soon as I yelled, it disappeared, and my daughter jumped up. I thought my daughter had woken up in surprise due to my shouting, and I wanted to apologize to her, but my daughter was muttering, I'm in, I'm in, I'm in, I'm in, I'm in, I'm in, I'm in." Realizing it was a bad sign, I tried starting the engine desperately, and it worked. We hurriedly retraced our path. My daughter was still mumbling beside me. I drove as fast as I could to get to a place with people. Finally, I saw the lights of a town, and I felt a bit relieved. However, my daughter's muttering had changed from I'm in to ten, su, metsu, without me noticing, and her face seemed different, not like my daughter's. Thinking that it wouldn't be safe to take her home in this condition, I rushed to the nearest temple. It was midnight, but there was a light on at the residence next to the temple. I dragged my daughter and rang the doorbell. A man who seemed like a priest came out, looked at my daughter, and said to me, "What have you done?" When I explained that we had gone into the mountains and encountered a strange entity, he looked disappointed and began chanting while patting my daughter's shoulders and back, as if to comfort her. The priest offered us to stay the night, and given my concerns for my daughter, I accepted. My daughter appeared to be possessed by something called Yamanoke, that's what the priest called it. He explained that if her condition persisted for 49 days, she might never return to their normal self. The priest promised to take care of her and make efforts to expel the Yamanoke. I called my wife, and the priest also talked to her, convincing her to believe us. According to the priest, if we had returned home as we were, my wife might have been possessed by the Yamanoke as well, as it tends to attach to women. Until the Yamanoke is completely expelled, my wife cannot see our daughter. A week has passed, but my daughter is still at the temple. I visit her every day, but she doesn't seem like my daughter anymore. She grins and gazes at me with an unsettling look. I hope she returns to her old self soon. Never go to the mountains just for fun.